waiting for the train to arrive and the war to end. The railways never stopped, a one-way lifeline to safety. But as the war grinds on, some Ukrainians are making the precarious journey back. Each has a story. Olga and Eva plan to wait out the war in Sweden, but first she wants to see her husband, a soldier from Kharkiv, just for a few days before they part.
What do I worry about? What will happen to him? If he will be alive, we will pray for him.
He can't leave, and she must. She worries about how to cope.
Our fate will be in a different city, different country. He will be in Ukraine until the end because he is the military.
In the early days of this war, there were almost no passengers on these trains going east toward the fighting. But as Ukrainians adjust to the reality of potentially a long war, some are finding reasons to go back. Life as a sudden refugee is too difficult, says Yana Huntarenko, who with her 4 kids and 5 pets fled Ukraine to the Czech Republic weeks ago.
The children started to cry that they wanted to go home, and we decided that home is better than somewhere else.
They're returning to their home in central Ukraine with 2 budgies, 2 hamsters, and a rat, hoping they'll all be safe.
I saw how it's abroad. It's better to stay and support our people. Please understand, if we will not believe, then nobody will believe in us. If it's not us and our children standing with Ukraine, then there will be nobody else to help Ukraine. And then this war will continue.
Every Ukrainian is trying to decipher what they can do to help their country. Ihor Mariiko is from Zaporizhia in the east. Still dangerous, but with family there, he can't stay away anymore. Is it safe?
I can't say that I'm not afraid. I'm afraid. I'm not afraid about maybe bomber or aircraft attack. I'm afraid of not be able to leave the area, because as in Mariupol, Kharkiv, people just were staying like hostages.
For those who work the trains, like Nadia Zimkovska, the war has turned them into aid workers on evacuation trains. Nadia's been with the railway 31 years. She's never been frightened before.
Yes, it was scary. The trains were under shelling. We stopped in Zaporizhia. In Kyiv, we stopped for 4 hours and we could hear shelling.
During the panic days of evacuation, she tells us the carriages were jammed with families. She remembers one father whose wife had died.
A father was evacuating with 2 children. His 3rd child got lost. He walked through the whole train, 20 carriages, and he never found his child.
There's trauma on this train, lots of it. In one carriage, we notice Anna Blashenko and her son Pavel exhausted, with her husband and father escaping from a month of terror in Mariupol. When she wakes, she tells us. You were in the basement?
In the last couple of days before we left, it was scary to go to the basement. We had no strength. It seems that we were going to the grave. Emotionally, you are scared all the time. Shots, rockets, bombs, those sounds of war, they didn't stop.
Did you think you wouldn't get out alive?
Yes, everyone thought that. There were moments when we thought it would be better if some rocket fell and killed us. As long as it happened fast, because we saw many deaths, lots of destructions and suffering. People suffered.
They're all going together to a village in central Ukraine. We are wanderers now, she says. Do you think you'll ever be able to go back to Mariupol?
No, there is no Mariupol anymore. No city, no infrastructures, there is not even one building, no hospital, no shops. The city is alive because there is life in the basement, but there is no Mariupol.
At Hanomansing, Anna's family gets off to find a new refuge inside their own country. And as night comes, nearly halfway across Ukraine, the war feels closer. An air raid siren warns of some threat in the sky, but the trains keep running, snaking across the country. They keep lights low, the stations dark, trying to protect the rails from direct attacks. As the Russians withdraw from around Kyiv, the night trains are moving some people back in. But they're still rescuing frightened families from bombed cities like Chernihiv.
This is madness. In the 21st century, how can this happen? We never touched anyone. We lived and raised children. And they came to us with the war. They bombed us, they forced us to starve. This is horrible. It's difficult to comprehend.
Maria Krasnopolska and her daughter are escaping. She's angry.
Yes, I am not an evil person, but what they do makes me very mad.
Do you think you'll be able to go back to Chernihiv, and when?
Yes, for sure. After the victory, this is my home, the home of my children. We will be there.
And when it's time, the night conductor, Mihailo Kravchuk, will escort them back. He's been working the rails since Ukraine's independence from the Soviet Union, and the war is part of his mission.
We just do our work. In such difficult times, everyone needs to do what they do best. Soldiers to shoot, military to fight, someone to conduct the train, a president to lead.
It's a trickle now, but already the trains are carrying Ukrainians back to reclaim whatever they can of their war-torn country. Susan Ormiston, CBC News, Hanomansing, Ukraine.